Hey there, have you ever wondered if the INFJ personality type is a true genius? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive deep into this fascinating topic. INFJ, also known as the counselor or the advocate, are often described as one of the rarest and most complex personality types out there. But are they really geniuses, or is that just an unfounded myth? The age-old question, are INFJ secretly brilliant masterminds, or are they just really good at pretending? Today we're going to explore the evidence, both for and against the INFJ genius theory. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a much better understanding of whether the INFJ reputation as an intellectual powerhouse is truly warranted. So, let's get started, shall we? First things first, what exactly is an INFJ, and how do they differ from other personality types? Well, INFJ stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling and judging. These folks are often described as the rarest of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, making up only around 1 to 2% of the population. INFJ are known for their rich inner worlds, their deep emotional intelligence, and their strong moral compasses. They're the ones who seem to get people on a profound level, often serving as counselors, therapists, and trusted confidants. But beyond their incredible empathy and compassion, INFJ are also said to possess exceptional intellectual abilities. So what are some of the key traits that have earned INFJ their genius reputation? Well, for starters, they're often praised for their impressive intuition and foresight. These folks have an uncanny ability to see the big picture, to anticipate problems before they arise, and to come up with creative, out-of-the-box solutions. INFJ are also renowned for their love of learning and their thirst for knowledge. They have insatiable curiosity, and they're constantly seeking to expand their understanding of the world around them. Whether it's delving into philosophy, exploring the mysteries of the universe, or analyzing the human condition, INFJ are always hungry for more information. And let's not forget the INFJ legendary attention to detail. These folks have an almost photographic memory, and they have a knack for spotting patterns and connections that others might miss. They're the ones who can remember obscure facts, piece together complex puzzles, and uncover hidden meanings in even the most mundane of situations. But perhaps the most compelling evidence for the INFJ genius lies in their exceptional ability to synthesize information and generate innovative ideas. INFJ are masters of big-picture thinking, able to see the forest for the trees and to come up with truly original solutions to complex problems. They're the ones who can take disparate pieces of information, mash them together in unexpected ways, and emerge with groundbreaking new insights. Just think about some of the most famous INFJ in history, people like Albert Einstein, Maya Angelou and Eckhart Tolle. These individuals have all left an indelible mark on the world, revolutionizing our understanding of science, art and spirituality. And it's precisely this combination of intellectual prowess and creative brilliance that has solidified the INFJ reputation as a true genius. Of course, not everyone is convinced that the INFJ is a genius. Some critics argue that the INFJ genius is little more than a myth, a product of our own biases and misconceptions. After all, they say, how can we quantify something as subjective and amorphous as genius? And it's true that the concept of genius is notoriously slippery and difficult to define. What exactly constitutes a genius-level intellect, and who gets to decide? Are we talking about raw IQ scores, academic achievements, cultural impact, or some combination of all three? Moreover, some researchers have suggested that the INFJ apparent intellectual superiority may simply be a result of their exceptional emotional intelligence and their ability to navigate the complexities of the human experience. In other words, maybe INFJ aren't necessarily smarter than other people, they just have a unique way of seeing and interpreting the world that gives them an advantage in certain domains. And let's not forget that every personality type has its own unique strengths and weaknesses. Just because INFJ are often praised for their intellectual prowess doesn't mean that they're inherently better than other types. Each of us has our own unique gifts and talents, and it's important to appreciate the diversity of human intelligence and creativity. So where does that leave us? Is the INFJ truly a genius, or is that just a flattering myth? Well, the truth is, it's probably a bit of both. While the INFJ genius may be an oversimplification, there's no denying that these folks possess some truly remarkable intellectual and creative abilities. INFJ have a remarkable capacity for deep, abstract thinking, an insatiable curiosity, and a talent for synthesizing information in novel ways. They're the ones who can see patterns and connections that others might miss, and they have an uncanny ability to anticipate problems and come up with innovative solutions. But at the end of the day, genius is a highly subjective and complex concept. And while the INFJ may possess some truly remarkable intellectual gifts, they're not the only ones who can lay claim to that title. Each personality type has its own unique strengths and contributions to make, and it's important to appreciate the diversity of human intelligence and creativity. So is the INFJ a genius? Well, it's a complicated question without a simple answer. But one thing is for sure, these folks are definitely not your average intellectual wallflowers. They're deep thinkers, creative visionaries and problem solvers extraordinaire. And whether or not they can be considered geniuses in the strictest sense of the word, there's no denying that they bring a truly unique and valuable perspective to the world. What makes the INFJ so intellectually gifted? All right, now that we've laid the groundwork for the INFJ genius debate, let's dive a little deeper into what makes this personality type so intellectually gifted. What are the specific traits and abilities that have earned INFJ their reputation as intellectual powerhouses? Well, for starters, let's talk about that legendary INFJ intuition. These folks have an uncanny ability to see the big picture, to spot patterns and connections that others might miss, and to anticipate problems before they even arise. It's like they have a sixth sense for understanding the underlying currents and dynamics at play in any given situation. And this intuitive prowess doesn't just apply to the external world. INFJ are also masters of the inner landscape. They have a remarkable capacity for introspection, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. They can delve deep into the complexities of the human experience and uncover insights that others might easily overlook. But the INFJ intellectual gifts don't stop there. These folks also possess an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for knowledge that is truly unparalleled. They're voracious learners, constantly seeking to expand their understanding of the world around them. Whether it's diving into the latest scientific research, exploring the realms of philosophy and spirituality, or analyzing the nuances of human behavior, INFJ are always eager to soak up new information. And let's not forget the INFJ attention to detail and their remarkable memory. These folks have a knack for spotting the tiny, seemingly insignificant details that others might miss. They can remember obscure facts, piece together complex puzzles, and uncover hidden meanings in even the most mundane of situations. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of the INFJ intellectual prowess is their ability to synthesize information and generate innovative ideas. These folks are masters of big picture thinking, able to take disparate pieces of information, mash them together in unexpected ways, and emerge with groundbreaking new insights. Just think about some of the most famous INFJ in history, people like Albert Einstein, Maya Angelou, and Eckhart Tolle. These individuals have all left an indelible mark on the world, revolutionizing our understanding of science, art, and spirituality. And it's precisely this combination of intellectual prowess and creative brilliance that has solidified the INFJ reputation as a true intellectual powerhouse. Of course, it's important to remember that the INFJ intellectual gifts aren't just a matter of raw intelligence or academic achievement. These folks also possess a deep emotional intelligence and a profound understanding of the human experience. They have a remarkable ability to empathize with others, to see the world through different lenses, and to approach complex problems with a truly holistic perspective. In a world that often values logic and rationality above all else, the INFJ unique blend of intellectual and emotional intelligence can be a true asset. These folks aren't just brilliant thinkers, they're also deeply compassionate, intuitive, and attuned to the nuances of the human condition. So, what is it that makes the INFJ such an intellectual powerhouse? Is it their legendary intuition, their insatiable curiosity, their attention to detail, or their ability to synthesize information in novel ways? The truth is, it's a combination of all these factors and more. The INFJ is a truly remarkable personality type, one that blends intellectual prowess with emotional intelligence in a way that is truly unique and awe-inspiring. The dark side of the INFJ genius. All right, let's dive a little deeper into the INFJ genius and explore some of the potential downsides and challenges that come with this powerful intellect. Because while the INFJ intellectual gifts can certainly be a blessing, they can also be something of a double-edged sword. After all, being a genius isn't always as glamorous as it might seem. For one thing, the INFJ exceptional intuition and foresight can sometimes be a curse as much as a blessing. These folks have a remarkable ability to anticipate problems and see the big picture, But that also means they can often feel burdened by the weight of their own insights. INFJ can be painfully aware of the complexities and nuances of any given situation, and that can make decision-making and problem-solving a real challenge. They may agonize over the potential consequences of their actions, worrying that they'll make the wrong choice and cause more harm than good. And let's not forget the INFJ legendary attention to detail. While this trait can certainly be an asset, it can also lead to a kind of paralysis, with INFJ getting bogged down in the minutiae and struggling to see the forest for the trees. These folks may find themselves obsessing over tiny, seemingly insignificant details, unable to move forward until every little piece of the puzzle is just right. And that can be a real hindrance when it comes to things like productivity, decision-making, and creative expression. But perhaps the biggest downside of the INFJ genius is the way it can contribute to feelings of isolation and disconnect. After all, these folks are often described as the rarest of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, making up only around 1 to 2% of the population. And when you possess a level of intellectual and emotional depth that is so far removed from the mainstream, it can be incredibly challenging to find kindred spirits and truly connect with others. INFJ may feel like they're operating on a different wavelength, struggling to relate to the concerns and priorities of the people around them. This sense of isolation can be especially acute for INFJ who are highly gifted or accomplished in their fields. They may find themselves surrounded by admirers and accolades, but still feeling profoundly alone and misunderstood. And let's not forget the pressure and expectations that often come with being perceived as a genius. INFJ may feel like they're constantly being scrutinized, with people expecting them to live up to some impossible standard of intellectual and creative brilliance. This pressure can be incredibly draining, leading to burnout, anxiety, and a deep sense of self-doubt. INFJ may find themselves constantly second-guessing their own abilities, afraid of disappointing the people who see them as some kind of intellectual superstar. So while the INFJ genius may be a source of wonder and admiration for many, it can also be a heavy burden to bear. These folks may find themselves struggling with feelings of isolation, overwhelm, and self-doubt, all while trying to navigate the complexities of their own exceptional intellect. But the good news is there are ways for INFJ to manage these challenges and harness the full power of their intellectual gifts. It's all about finding balance, cultivating self-awareness, and learning to prioritize their own needs and well-being. Because at the end of the day, the INFJ genius is a double-edged sword, a blessing and a curse, a source of both power and pain. But with the right tools and strategies, these remarkable individuals can learn to embrace their unique gifts, overcome their challenges, and use their exceptional intellect to make a truly meaningful impact on the world. The surprising connection between INFJ intelligence and creativity. All right, let's dive a little deeper into the fascinating relationship between INFJ intelligence and creativity, because these two elements are so closely intertwined and they work together in truly remarkable ways. You see, the INFJ exceptional intellectual abilities aren't just about raw brain power or academic achievement. These folks also possess a truly unique and powerful creative spark, one that allows them to take their intellectual gifts and transform them into something truly remarkable. It all starts with that legendary INFJ intuition. These folks have an uncanny ability to see patterns, connections, and underlying currents that others might easily miss. They can take seemingly disparate pieces of information and mash them together in unexpected ways, giving birth to truly innovative ideas and solutions. But the INFJ creative genius doesn't stop there. These folks also possess a remarkable capacity for emotional intelligence and empathy. They have a deep understanding of the human experience, and they're able to tap into the rich tapestry of human emotion and experience in their creative pursuits. Whether they're writing a soul-stirring piece of poetry, crafting an evocative work of art, or composing a moving piece of music, INFJ have a way of tapping into the universal experiences of the human condition and translating them into something truly profound and meaningful. And let's not forget the INFJ insatiable curiosity and love of learning. These folks are constantly seeking to expand their understanding of the world around them, and that thirst for knowledge and exploration fuels their creative process in powerful ways. INFJ are always eager to explore new ideas, to experiment with different mediums and techniques, and to push the boundaries of what's possible. They're not content to simply regurgitate the same old formulas. They want to blaze new trails and create something truly unique and innovative. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the INFJ creative genius is the way it interacts with their intellectual prowess. These folks have a remarkable ability to take complex, abstract concepts and translate them into something visceral and tangible. They can take the most esoteric philosophical ideas, the deepest emotional truths, or the most intricate scientific theories, and transform them into works of art that are both intellectually stimulating and profoundly moving. Just think about some of the most famous INFJ creatives throughout history, people like Maya Angelou, Eckhart Tolle, and Haruki Murakami. These individuals have all left an indelible mark on the world, not just through their intellectual achievements, but through their ability to weave their deep insights and understandings into truly breathtaking works of art. And the beauty of the INFJ creative genius is that it's not just limited to the traditional arts. These folks have a way of applying their intellectual and creative prowess to all sorts of domains, from science and technology to business and social change. INFJ are the ones who can take complex, data-driven concepts and translate them into user-friendly, intuitive designs. They're the ones who can take a seemingly intractable social problem and devise innovative, holistic solutions that address the root causes. They're the ones who can take the most abstruse scientific theories and make them accessible and engaging to the general public. In short, the INFJ intellectual gifts and creative brilliance are two sides of the same coin, inextricably linked and mutually reinforcing. These folks possess a truly remarkable ability to synthesize diverse streams of knowledge and experience, and to transform that into something that is both intellectually stimulating and profoundly meaningful. So if you're an INFJ, or if you know and admire someone with this incredible personality type, take a moment to celebrate the unique and powerful intersection of intelligence and creativity that lies at the heart of this remarkable type. It's a truly awe-inspiring thing to behold. The challenges of being an INFJ genius. All right, now that we've explored the many facets of the INFJ genius, let's dive into some of the unique challenges and struggles that these remarkable individuals face. Because while the INFJ intellectual and creative gifts may seem like a blessing, they can also be something of a double-edged sword. These folks don't just possess exceptional brain power, they also have a deep emotional sensitivity and a profound understanding of the human experience that can make navigating the world a real challenge. One of the biggest hurdles for INFJ is the sense of isolation and disconnect that can come with being part of such a small and rarefied group. After all, these folks make up only around 1 to 2% of the population, and their exceptional intellectual and emotional depth can make it incredibly difficult to find kindred spirits and truly connect with others. INFJ may find themselves constantly grappling with feelings of misunderstanding and loneliness as they struggle to relate to the priorities and concerns of the people around them. They may feel like they're operating on a different wavelength, unable to find the kind of deep, meaningful connections that they crave. And it's not just in their personal lives that INFJ can feel isolated. Even in their professional and academic pursuits, they may struggle to find the kind of stimulation and support that they need. These folks are often drawn to fields that require a high degree of intellectual and creative complexity, but they may find themselves surrounded by people who just don't get them. Whether it's in the ivory tower of academia, the cutthroat world of corporate innovation, or the ever-shifting landscape of the arts, INFJ can feel like square pegs in round holes, constantly striving to find their place and make their mark. But the challenges of being an INFJ genius don't end there. These folks also have to grapple with the intense pressure and expectations that often come with being perceived as an intellectual powerhouse. INFJ may find themselves constantly scrutinized and evaluated, with people expecting them to live up to some impossible standard of brilliance and creative genius. And that kind of pressure can be incredibly draining, leading to burnout, anxiety, and a deep sense of self-doubt. These folks may find themselves agonizing over every decision, second-guessing their own abilities, and worrying that they'll somehow fall short of the lofty expectations that have been placed upon them. And that kind of internal turmoil can be a real roadblock to the kind of fulfillment and success that they so desperately crave. And let's not forget the INFJ legendary attention to detail and their tendency to get bogged down in the minutiae. While this trait can certainly be an asset in some contexts, it can also be a real hindrance when it comes to things like productivity, decision-making, and creative expression. INFJ may find themselves paralyzed by their own perfectionism, unable to move forward until every little piece of the puzzle is just right. And that can be a real challenge in a world that often prizes speed and efficiency over depth and nuance. But perhaps the most insidious challenge that INFJ face is the way their exceptional intellectual and emotional gifts can actually work against them in certain situations. These folks are often so attuned to the complexities and subtleties of the human experience that they can struggle to make decisions and take action. INFJ may agonize over the potential consequences of their choices, worrying that they'll make the wrong move and cause more harm than good. And that kind of paralysis can be a real obstacle to the kind of bold, decisive leadership that the world often craves. So in many ways, being an INFJ genius is a bit like navigating a minefield. These folks have to constantly balance their exceptional gifts with the unique challenges and pitfalls that come with being part of such a rarefied group. It's a delicate dance, and one that requires a deep well of self-awareness, resilience, and strategic thinking. But the good news is, there are ways for INFJ to manage these challenges and harness the full power of their intellectual and creative gifts. It's all about finding balance, cultivating strong support systems, and learning to prioritize their own needs and well-being. Because at the end of the day, the INFJ genius is a double-edged sword, a blessing and a curse, a source of both power and pain. But with the right tools and strategies, these remarkable individuals can learn to embrace their unique gifts, overcome their challenges, and use their exceptional intellect and creativity to make a truly meaningful impact on the world, unlocking the full potential of the INFJ genius. All right, now that we've explored the unique challenges and obstacles that INFJ face in harnessing their incredible intellectual and creative gifts, let's dive into some strategies and approaches that can help these remarkable individuals unlock their full potential. Because the truth is, while the INFJ genius may come with its fair share of challenges, it also represents an incredible opportunity, a chance for these folks to make a truly profound and lasting impact on the world. One of the key things that INFJ need to focus on is cultivating a strong support system, a network of people who truly understand and appreciate the depth and complexity of their gifts. Whether it's finding a trusted mentor, connecting with like-minded peers, or building a strong community of fellow creatives and intellectuals, INFJ need to surround themselves with people who get them. Because let's face it, navigating the world as an INFJ genius can be a lonely and isolating experience. These folks need a safe space where they can let their guard down, explore their ideas without fear of judgment, and find the kind of deep, meaningful connections that they crave. And it's not just about finding emotional support. INFJ also need to actively seek out intellectual stimulation and creative challenges. These folks thrive on complexity and novelty, and they need to constantly be pushing the boundaries of their own knowledge and abilities. Whether it's delving into the latest cutting-edge research, experimenting with new creative mediums, or tackling complex, multifaceted problems, INFJ need to stay curious, engaged, and constantly learning. Because it's in those moments of intellectual and creative exploration that they truly come alive. But perhaps the most important thing that INFJ need to focus on is developing a strong sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. These folks have a tendency to be incredibly hard on themselves, constantly second-guessing their abilities and worrying that they're not living up to the lofty expectations that have been placed upon them. And that kind of internal turmoil can be a real roadblock to the kind of fulfillment and success that INFJs so deeply desire. So it's crucial for these folks to learn to embrace their unique gifts, to celebrate their strengths, and to cultivate a deep sense of self-compassion. Because when INFJ are able to step back, recognize their own brilliance, and approach their challenges with a sense of curiosity and resilience, that's when they're able to truly unlock their full potential. They can stop worrying about living up to external standards and start focusing on the kind of meaningful, purpose-driven work that truly sets their souls on fire. And that's where the real magic happens. Because when INFJ are able to tap into the full depth of their intellectual and creative gifts, they have the power to transform the world in truly remarkable ways. Whether it's breaking new ground in scientific research, crafting breathtaking works of art, or spearheading innovative social change, these folks have the ability to see the world through a lens that few others can, and to translate that vision into something tangible and impactful. So if you're an INFJ genius, or if you know and admire someone with this incredible personality type, remember that your gifts are not a burden, but a true superpower. Embrace your uniqueness, cultivate a strong support system, and never stop seeking out new challenges and opportunities to grow. Because when INFJ are able to harness the full power of their intellect and creativity, The possibilities are truly endless. So go forth, my fellow INFJ geniuses, and let your light shine. The world is waiting for the incredible mark that only you can make. Conclusion: the awe-inspiring power of the INFJ genius. In the end, the question of whether the INFJ is truly a genius is a complex and multifaceted one. These folks undoubtedly possess a remarkable blend of intellectual prowess, emotional intelligence, and creative brilliance that sets them apart from the general population. From their legendary intuition and foresight, to their insatiable curiosity and attention to detail, to their ability to synthesize information and generate innovative ideas, INFJ have a unique set of gifts that have the power to transform the world in truly remarkable ways. But as we've explored, the INFJ genius is not without its challenges and pitfalls. These folks often struggle with feelings of isolation and misunderstanding, grapple with intense pressure and expectations, and can sometimes get bogged down in their own perfectionism and attention to detail. Yet, despite these hurdles, the INFJ has the potential to make a profound and lasting impact on the world. Whether they're breaking new ground in science, crafting breathtaking works of art, or spearheading innovative social change, these remarkable individuals possess a unique and awe-inspiring power. So if you're an INFJ, or if you know and admire someone with this incredible personality type, remember that your gifts are not a burden but a true superpower. Embrace your uniqueness, cultivate a strong support system, and never stop seeking out new challenges and opportunities to grow. Because when INFJ are able to harness the full depth of their intellectual and creative gifts, the possibilities are truly endless. So go forth, my fellow INFJ geniuses, and let your light shine. The world is waiting for the incredible mark that only you can make.